Hello everyone, today I'll be showing you how to solve a word problem using system of equations. So my friends have been struggling with this and I wanted to make a tutorial on how to do this. So I'll be solving the problem two ways using substitution method and elimination method. These are two ways that you could solve the problem. So first I'll be doing substitution method and explaining how I did it, and then I'll be solving elimination method second and explaining how I did that way as well. So I hope you enjoyed this video and you learned something from it, and let's get started. So this is the problem I chose to do, and it says the Lakers scored a total of 80 points in a basketball game against the Bulls. The Lakers made a total of 37 2-point and 3-point baskets. How many 2-point shots did the Lakers make, and how many 3-point shots did the Lakers make? So I'm trying to find how many 2-point shots they made and the 3 shots they made in total. So first I'll be doing substitution method, and yeah. So now for the substitution method, we are going to solve for x and y. So, as in the problem, x is going to equal 2 because of the 2-pointers, and y is going to equal 3 because of the 3-pointers. So x is going to equal for 2 points, y is going to equal for 3 points. Okay, so now we have to set up the problem. So we're going to have 2x for this, and then it has to be plus 3y equals 80 because it's the whole total of how many shots they made in total. So now we could either use x or y. So I'm going to decide to do y. So the total of 2 and 3-pointers is 37. So we have y is going to equal to 37 minus x. Because over here, x plus y equals 37, because whatever we get for these is going to equal to 37 for the total amount of 2 and 3-pointers. So now we have that. We just basically switched it. So we put y equals 37 minus x. So we basically switched. Okay. So now we have that. So now we know y is going to equal to 37 minus x. So we have 2x plus 3y equals 80. Okay, so now we still have 2x plus, we have 3, but now we plug in 37 minus x where y went. 37 minus x, parentheses, and it's still equal to 80. Okay, so now we still have 2x plus, and now we do distributive property. So 3 times 37 is equal to 111. 3 times negative x is equal to negative 3x. And then it's still equal to 80. So now we combine like terms. So I'm going to box this for 2x, circle this, and then box this. Okay, so now I boxed them. So now these two are the same. 111 stays the same since there's nothing to combine it with. So 2x minus 3x is equal to negative 1x. And we still add the 111. It's equal to 80. Okay. So now we're going to solve for 80. We're going to have to find x. So in order to get rid of 111, we have to do the opposite, so it is to subtract it. And we got to do it from both sides. Yep. So this cancels out already. So it's negative 1x is equal. So 80 minus 111 is equal to negative 31. So now we divide and divide. Okay, so negative 31 divided by 1 is equal to 31. So x is equal to 31. So now we found x, and we have that figured out, but we're almost done. So now we're going to have to solve for y. And to do that, you plug it in, or x goes right here. Okay, so I'm going to get a new board that's completely clean. Okay, so now we're going to solve for y. Okay, so I'm going to write down the equation in the corner so we know what it is. Is equal to 80, and then y is equal to 37 minus x. Okay, so x was equal to 31. That's what we found. So now let's see if it's true. So if we plug 31 where x went, we could find what y equals. So y equals 37 minus x. So let's see. Y is equal to 37, and then we plug in right here where x goes, 31. So whatever we get should equal our y. So 37 minus 31 is 6. So y is equal to 6. Okay, that's what we found. Now we have to check it in case our work is wrong. So in order to check it, we're going to use this first equation right here. So it's going to be 2x plus 3y is equal to 80. Now we plug in x and y, so we found x was 31, so I'm going to plug it in right here, and y was 6, so I'm going to plug it in right here as also. So 2, and then 31 plus 3, and then 6 is equal to 80. Okay, now we do 2 times 31 and then 3 times 6, and then if it equals 80, then we're correct. Okay, so 2 times 31 is 62, plus 3 times 6 is 18. Okay, so let's see if it's equal to 80, and let's do a little math over here, a little adding. 62 plus 18, add. So let's see, 6, 7, 8. Yep, it's equal to 80. Okay. Okay, so 80 is equal to 80, so they're both the same. Check. Okay, so now we just found that x does equal 31 and y does equal 6. So our answer is 31, 6, and then you circle the whole thing. Okay, so that's our answer. So now let's go back to the problem, and I'll put it right here. I don't know if you can see. Okay, I'll just move that aside. Okay, so the question was, how many 2-point shots did the Lakers make? So we just found out by x, because x was equal to 2-point shots, is 31. How many 3-point shots did the Lakers make? So y equaled the 3-point shots, so now we found y was 6. So this is our answer. 31 2-point shots and 6 3-point shots. Okay, so this is how you solve it, the substitution way method. Okay, so now I'm going to do the elimination method, which is the second way of doing this problem. Okay, so I'm going to have the same equation but solving it very differently. Okay, so in the beginning we had 2x plus 3y is equal to 80. Okay, so now that we have, so now we have another equation, which is x plus y is equal to 37, because 37 is equal to the 2-point and the 3-point shots. So x is still equal to 2, the 2-pointer shots, the 2 points, and y is still equal to the 3 points. Okay, so the methods are a little the same, but just very different steps on solving it. Okay, so we have this x plus y equals 37 from the y equals 37 minus x from the other problem, but we just made it to its regular normal equation. Okay, so this is how I did it. Okay, so first you have to have either pick x or y to have the same number. So I'm gonna pick x, but you could totally pick y, but I'm just gonna pick x just the beginning. Okay, so we have to make x equal 2. And how could we do that? So but x is basically 1, so I'll just put a 1, but you don't have to, I'm just gonna put it. So it's basically like kind of dividing. So let me put this. So I have to define, so 1 times 1 will equal 2x. So we have to think, okay, 1 times 1 is equal to 1, no. 1 times 2, yes, we can use 2. So I put 2 right here, and we kind of do distributive property here, because we multiply 2 times 1x, 2 times 1y, and 2 times 37. So the top equation stays the same. And let's say it was the opposite, which if 2x was on the bottom and 3y, and this equation was on the top and this was on the bottom, then you could put the equation on the top still too. So I could put 2 right here in parentheses, but since it's on the bottom, we're good. Okay, so now I put the top equation, so now we do distributive property. 2 times 1x is 2x, and then 2 times 1y is equal to 2y as well. And then 2 times 37 is equal to, is equal to 80. No, wait, I'm sorry. Is equal to 74. Okay, it's equal to 74. Okay, so now we have our 2 equations. So this is basically just an extra step from the substitution method. So we put a line underneath. So the rule is if the 2 equations, like the 2 x and y value are the same sign, then you subtract them. If the signs are opposite, you add them. So in this case, both the 2 x's are positive, so that means they have the same sign, even though there's not a sign there, they're still positive. Okay. So let's see if I can fix this. Okay, so we're gonna have to subtract it because these 2 signs are the same. So this already cancels out because 2 minus 2 is equal to, 0, so we don't really need that anymore. So 3 minus 2 is equal to 1y, and then 80 minus 74 is equal to 6. Now if you're a little confused, then this is how I did it. 3, and you basically 3 minus 2y, and then so you basically do the top minus the bottom. So you work with this first, so 2 minus 2x, and then this in the middle, 3 minus 2y, and this right here, 80 minus 74. Okay, so now I'm right here, and then we have to divide to get y. So y is going to have to equal, so 1 times 6 divided by 1 is 6, because 1 times 6 is equal to 6. So we found y now. We're halfway done. We're just halfway, almost there. Okay. So now, like the last time, to find y, we plug it in with the equation. So for this time, we could use both equations. So I could either use this one or this one. So I'm just going to do the first one because it's just there, Okay, so we're going to have 2x plus 3y equals 80. So we're going to plug in 6 where y is at. So I'm just going to put a little arrow all the way over there so you can see. Okay, sorry for the camera. Okay. So we have 2x, and then we add it 3. So now we have y. So we plug in 6 where y is at. 6 is equal to 80. Okay. So 2x, because this stays the same, plus 18 is equal to 80. Okay. So now we're trying to get rid of this side first to get our answer to this. So in order to get rid of positive 18, we subtract it. Because 18 minus 18 is 0, so that already gets rid of it. So we have to do it to both sides. Okay. Okay. So that's already 0. So I might as well bring down the 2x. Okay. So 80 minus 18 is 62. I don't want to go too fast, but you could use a calculator if you're having trouble with subtracting or multiplying or dividing. So I have to divide it by 2. So this will give us x, okay? So half of 2 is 1. Wait, let me see. X is equal. So if it's two even numbers, then you could half it. So half of 2 is 1, half of 6 is 3. So that's a method. If two numbers are even, then you could just do half of that if it's divided by 2. Okay. So now we found x. Okay. We found x, and this is how we found it. I'm not sure if the screen is all the way, but that's how I found it. Now we're going to check it. So this time we're going to check it with both equations. So I'm going to remove this right here, and then I'm going to go to a clear board. Okay, so now that we have our clear board, we're going to check it. So let me just write the whole equation down again. 2x plus 3y is equal to 80. And then I'm just going to write down x plus y equals 37. So we're going to check it both ways. So from the last board, it said I found out that x was 31 and y was 6. So now let's check it. We're going to plug in 31 where x goes and y, and 6 where y goes. Okay, we'll do the first equation, and then the second. So we're going to have 2x plus 3y equals 80. So we're going to plug in 31 where x goes. So 2, and then we have 31. And then we add, and then 3, and then y is 6. So 6 is equal to 80. Okay. So 2 times 31, if you don't know your multiplication, you could just use a calculator, but I just know the answer, so it is 62. So as you could tell, we kind of already did this on the last equation, so that's why they're very similar, and they're both kind of easy. If you understand it, you'll get it more, and it's easier for you if you understand. If you practice and practice. Okay. So then 3 times 6 is 18, is equal to 80. So 62 plus 18. Let's do it over here, just in case. Plus, okay, sorry. Okay, plus 18. Okay, 8. And then 8 plus 2 is 10, 6, and then 7, and then 8. Okay, so it does. 80 is equal to 80. Check. Okay, now we have the second equation. So it's x plus y equals 37. Okay, so we plug in 31 right here and 6 right here where the y goes. So 31, okay. 31 plus 6 is equal to 37. Now if this is correct, then everything is correct. Okay, So 31 plus 6 is, yes, it does equal 37. Okay, 37 equal 30. So check. So now we have our final answer, which is 31 comma y, since we checked it. Okay, so as you could tell, this is the same exact answer that we got for substitution method. So as we take out our problem again, so how many 2-point shots did the Lakers make? So the Lakers made 31 2-point shots. How many 3-point shots did the Lakers make? So they made 6 shots. So as you could tell, both these methods are very similar. If you like, the checking method is very similar with the other way I did it. So I hope you learned something a little bit. But before I go, I'm gonna answer a few questions So yeah. So this is my first question. How can equations be solved? So equations can be solved using substitution method and elimination method, but there are other ways you could solve it too. So the substitution method is when you first have one of the variables of the equation and you solve for the unknown. You later solve to find your solution. For the elimination method, you add the equations together to cancel out a variable. Then you solve for the remaining variable. Once you find the answer, you plug this into the original equation to find the solution. So these are both ways you could solve an equation, and this is my answer to my first question. What is the language of algebra? So this is my second question, and learning algebra is a little like learning another language. Algebra is a simple language used to create mathematical models of real-world solutions and to handle problems that we can't solve just using math. Algebra uses symbols to make statements about things that we don't know. Okay, so this is the answer to my second question, and now I'll be going on to my last question. Can we say one method is easier than another? Yes, we can say one method is better than another because one might be easier than another for someone. But I think that they are both simple and they both have very similar steps, but they both have very different steps. But the one that might be easier for me is substitution method because I think it has one less step than elimination method. So that's my answer to my last question, and yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and it really helped you a lot. And I hope you guys learned something a little bit about elimination method and substitution method. And I hope to see you all next time. Bye.